In this lecture, we'll be taking a look at how we can restrict our API usage using subscription key. In order to make use of subscription key, the first thing that we need to do is, under our APIs that we have created, go to settings and then over here enable this checkbox called subscription required. Here you can come up with this name. By default it's populated with this value only, so you can change it whatever you feel like, but I'm going to keep what Azure has suggested. So we have this header name, OCP APIM subscription key, and query parameter as subscription key. So remember, when you are trying to test this out and select any of the API calls, you'll notice that over here the OCP APIM subscription key is automatically applied by the Azure itself. So from where exactly we will get this value? In order to get this, all we need to do is just click on subscriptions over here in the side navigation bar, and then you can go ahead and click on add subscription. Now here you can give it a name like all API, so you can limit the scope of this particular API key. So here if I'm saying all APIs or specific API, so the one which we have created API, or you can choose it at product level. So that's the scope. Now if I go ahead and say API, it allows you to search for a specific API that we have created. So here you can see that I can go ahead and say, okay, this is the API that I want to make available using this particular subscription key. Here we have a spelling mistake. Let's clear that out first. Similarly, you can associate it with a user as well. So here we have just one administrator user. So that way you can zero it down to a specific API call. And in this case, what we have done is, here we have created a key for all APIs that we have. So that way we have this one primary key value. You can obviously show it by clicking this button over here, show hide keys, and you'll get the API key. Now once you have the API key, you can make use of it when you are querying a particular API call, either in the header or as query string. That's what we have discovered just now over here when we were exploring this function API. And here under settings, if you go, so when we are saying settings, we are actually saying the subscription is going to be applied on all the functions that are part of this API service. So all the functions that we have created will now be required to have this subscription key passed either as header or query parameter, and using that we will be able to restrict users from misusing the API usage.